And so we must have the same wavelength here.
There you go.
What kind are you making?
I'm making chicken and orzo.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Chicken noodle
That
soup with
sounds
orzo.
yummy.
Yeah. It's my grandmother's recipe, but I'm stealing it.
Hey, that's the best recipe.
Right?
Yeah, we like
Paco is
grandmother's
not
recipes.
first. You're not first,
Yeah.
Paco. Elysia is first.
Yes. I mean, I would be first doesn't really work because I would be first if there weren't other people before me is not how first works. But glad to see you both. I will totally have it together here in a second. Maybe. Nah, let's be realistic.
It's very Tuesday. That's how I've been all day. I'm like, it's Tuesday.
Yep, it's Tuesday. I left the house today.
Ooh. What'd
How
you
are
do?
the roads?
They're clear finally. They're clear finally. I went out last night and got dinner. And then I went out again this morning and the roads are mostly clear. There's still like little patches of ice, but they're mostly clear.
Knoxville is still shut down. The roads are just complete blocks of ice still.
Great.
Oh my.
Like, lovely.
Great. Yeah, it's
That's
like
terrible.
50. It got up to like 56 today here.
It's 47 right now, but the high was 53 here.
Mm.
And Thursday's going to be 62.
Go
But
figure.
it's going to be raining all day. Yay.
It was supposed to rain today, but I only just got little sprinkles.
Really? It's
Yeah.
supposed to hit here tomorrow and not stop till Saturday.
Oh, wow. Well, I'd rather have rain than ice, so
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Yes. Just either way, my front yard's going to be a mud pit, so I just accepted it at this point.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, showers late, rain tomorrow, rain and thunder Thursday, and then cloudy Friday, and then rain Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
Hi, Kiana.
Hey, how's it going? And yes, we are having a party.
Yay, a party.
Woohoo. Glad that you are off today, Paco. That is an excellent turn of events. Yeah. And I feel like it happens so rarely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have very busy seasons, it seems like, from your job.
Yeah. That's not fun.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's good to have busy seasons in that it keeps us in secure jobs, but
Yeah.
other than that.
Oh, Paco's off till Friday. Nice.
Oh, excellent.
Nice. I don't know how to feel about that.
Okay, I was making sure my charger was working for my computer.
Important. Very important. Yes.
I'm cold.
I have my heat on still.
I don't like it.
I would have been cold if I hadn't been cooking stew all day because now it's 72 in my apartment, which is a first in a very long time.
I'll swap you.
Okay.
It's always when you're cooking that it gets like hotter than the surface of the sun.
Yes, and I mean to be fair, I do have the stove and oven on, which probably logically contributes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kiana's listening to Interview with the Vampire.
Ooh.
I actually really like that audiobook.
Good narrator?
What is his name? Oh my goodness, that's gonna bug me. Steven something. Oh my goodness, hold on.
Paco will be busy till April, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, because basketball season's ramping up.
Yeah, my hometown team did really well last night. I was very excited.
Excellent.
Simon. Kiana says Simon.
Yeah, Simon Vance. Yep, that's it.
Excellent.
He does a lot of really, really good horror, and he also does a lot of like fantasies as well.
Okay.
Audio. But he doesn't do the same voice for every character, which is nice because
that's nice.
A lot of narrators, when it comes to sci-fi and fantasy, are just very monotone.
Yeah,
and they put you to sleep, aka Michael Kramer.
Okay. Do you two have favorite, or any of y'all, do you have favorite narrators? Somebody who you think of like, oh, everything that they do is good, or at least everything their voice does is good.
Well,
Ooh,
what's her name? Hang on a minute.
Bonnie Turpin is good. I like Bonnie Turpin a lot.
I don't know that name.
Robin Miles.
That was the other one. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, Robin Miles. She narrated a book that I read on Cleopatra. Fantastic. And she also narrated The Good House.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
One of my top 10 favorite books of last year.
Yep, so good.
Though I don't think I slept for like a week after I read it. Honestly.
You brought that one home with you and kept it.
Yeah, I live in an old creaky house, and there were just I would hear certain things in the middle of the night. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my husband is gone for the week, and I forgot to turn the box fan on, which not only keeps us cool but also drowns out some of the surrounding noises.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I will try not to make that mistake tonight.
That bad, huh?
Well, we live in a little downtown, and also I'm not used to hearing things at night. Because I can hear one thing.
The opposite. I grew up with like being in a city, and when I moved here, there's nothing, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, I liked when I could hear the train all the time. Last house, I lived near a train, and so like hearing the train in the middle of the night was lovely. But
yeah. And I hope I'm saying this name right. She narrated Skin of the Sea. Yedia Badaki?
Let's see.
Got me.
She's also an actress. If you've watched the TV series of American Gods, she was in American Gods.
Spell the name for me.
It's Yetide.
Oh, here we go. Got her.
Her voice is fantastic.
How do we pronounce? Yetide Badaki.
Yeah,
Yetide Badaki.
Yep. But she's amazing. She needs to narrate like everything, and she does really well with like if it's a historical book because she's naturally got like the African accents down, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Paco says the narrator who does Throne of Glass is good and thinks she also narrates Ninth House.
I do have the audiobook for that.
Is that Elizabeth Evans? I don't know the name. I just Googling here, but but I love when somebody does a good job. Like you know what you are good at, and you have found your niche.
Yes.
Excellent. Please
There's
stay
one.
here.
There's one that just does cozy mysteries, and she's fantastic.
That puts me in mind of Sarah Zimmerman. And I don't know if that's who you're thinking of or somebody else, but Sarah Zimmerman has done a couple of the cozy series.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Absolutely. She's on the list. And then I have to give my friend Julie credit. She's the one that's behind the Live and Let Chai, the Seaside Cafe mysteries. Her audiobook narrator got into a really bad car accident. So she paused her audiobook release so she could make sure she gets the same net. She waited like 2 years after the book was released to make sure that it was seamless to have her narrator be the same.
Excellent.
Which I highly respect.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate when you get partway through and you're like, and
then they switch it.
Yeah. They did that.
And then you're like, what?
In the Ladies Guide series, the first 2 books were Sarah Zimmerman.
I like the first 2.
Book was somebody else.
I haven't gotten to the third one yet.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they went back and re-recorded.
Okay.
The ones that the other narrator did because she's not as good.
I wasn't sure how that went because I've seen multiples of the other narrator. And so I wasn't sure if they had both doing him or maybe they were like, oh, we've got a contract with her to do them, but we're also going to have Sarah Zimmerman do them. But whatever they did, Sarah Zimmerman is the way to go.
The audiobook narrator for the cozies that my friend writes is Teresa Palmer.
Mhm.
She also does a bunch of Nicholas Spark books. She's a narrator for him. And a bunch of like the Robin Carr books, like the Virgin River books.
And yes, Paco, she is beautiful and bisexual. Yetide Badaki
Yeah, she's
is bisexual.
She plays this. She plays the sex goddess in American Gods, and oh my god, you know who I'm talking about.
Bilkis.
Yes, I couldn't think of her name. Yeah. I just remember. Yep. They actually expanded her role because they loved working with her so much.
Excellent. This is what we like to hear.
Because technically in the book, she's like in 2 scenes and then she's gone.
Yeah.
She was for the whole entire run of the series, the TV series.
Excellent. And Kiana says Julie Whalen is good.
Julie Whalen. Why does that name sound familiar?
Never heard of her.
She's done some Nora Roberts and Kristen Hanna.
Kristen Hanna. Okay, the Kristen Hanna. Yep.
Ah, that would be it.
Yep.
Yep.
The ones that the books that make me cry no matter what I do.
Okay.
They're beautifully written. They just break your heart in the process.
Yeah. Feel all the feelings.
Yes. And you're like, why?
Yeah. I don't always like feeling all the feelings, but I cannot fault the author for that.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Headspaces are important.
Yes. This will make Jen happy. Look what showed up today from the UK.
Excellent.
Nice.
I ordered these like 6 months ago. And they just showed up today.
Nice.
Yeah. Did they walk them all the way from the UK?
Yeah.
I guess.
Something.
And it didn't even alert me that they were being delivered. They just showed up.
Right.
Okay.
Surprise.
I was like, okay.
Yep. Hey, Snazzy.
Hey, Snazzy. How's it going? We are...
Snazzy reminds me that I should post the link. Copy
there you go.
address.
So what is everybody reading tonight? Or not reading?
That's a good question. I am now looking for where my phone is because I was using it for my... Oh, it's in my back pocket. Yeah, I was using it for my recipe, and now I'm like, I think I'm reading Secrets of a Scottish Isle, which is the next Jane Wonderly.
Finally.
I love the titles of those.
I love the covers of them, like the edging and everything on them. Fantastic covers.
Oh, I found that copy of the picture that you sent me from the Blue Castle. I ordered that. I found it at my used bookstore and I ordered it.
Excellent. Let me know what you think of it.
I will. Jen, what is the book that you think of when you were a kid that made you a reader?
Honestly, I couldn't say one in particular. I just, from the time I was little, they put books in my hands and I just read. I started off, you probably had them on cassette, but I had them on records because I'm much older than you.
Like the Hooked on Phonics?
And they had these I Can Read books, and they came with a record.
Yeah.
And so you'd put the record on and you listen to the record while you read the book.
My dad had them.
And that's how I learned to read. Was with those. That was how I learned to read.
And then I had Teddy Ruxpin back in the day.
Yeah, I never had one of those. I wanted one, but I never had one.
And now looking back at it, I'm like, it's so scary.
A little creepy. But yeah, no, I just always had books from the time I was little.
I'm working on a project. I'm asking friends what their favorite book was as a child. Working on something. No dates yet, but I'm working on something.
Well, that's fun.
We love it.
It'll get out there when it's done. It'll take a bit.
Way to do it.
Yeah.
And the first part is that some of them are like out of print, so it's like hard to get them. I'm like, darn it.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. If they're going to be out of print, they should at least be available online in free PDFs or something.
Yeah. Or like if they're out of print, they should put them like on an e-copy or something.
Right.
Or they can just be like through a library or something.
Mhm.
It's the one that I used to read. I think it was called The Perilous Guard.
Mhm.
And that's been out of print since like the 90s. I found an old copy because my friend's mom owned a used bookstore and knew I was looking for it, so she found it and took it for me.
That's very useful.
Yeah, she's like, I know you were looking for this. I have it. All right. It literally took me 2 years to find this thing.
Oh, wow.
It's been out of print since like I think 1989 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But I remember my grandmother reading it to me as a kid.
Aw.
Because I remember the cover.
I remember. What do I remember? I remember Caddy Woodlawn. I remember.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll explain that one in a minute. I'll explain why I remember that one in a minute, because welcome to my fucked up childhood. But I also remember there was one about a little girl called Rowena that had to go and find a witch in the woods because she had stolen everyone's laughter.
Yep. What was that called? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to look it up and find out.
What was that called?
Oh.
It's called I Can Read About Witches.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yep, I found it. Hang on a minute. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to put it in the private chat so you can see the link. But I found it.
Yay.
Yep.
I have added the next thing to my...
That's the cover.
Yep. The one?
Yep.
That's the same one. Yep. Yep. I can read
It's so
about
funny
witches.
how you don't remember names, but you remember covers.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the book was long. It was rectangular.
Yeah. It was
long and rectangular.
It was just like that big.
Yeah. But Caddy Woodlawn, I remember because my mother bought it for me. And she came home from the store with it. And she'd bought it. And she handed it to me. And I was like, oh, new book. And so I read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do.
Like you do.
Especially especially when you're kids, you don't know to look it up and be like, what order?
Oh, no, that didn't matter. It was a standalone.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So I read the book. And this was, an afternoon. And so I come out to help get dinner started. And Mother says, how's the book? And I said, oh, it was fantastic. And she said, what do you mean was? And I said, well, finished it. It was good. It was really good. I read the whole thing. And she got mad at me.
For reading it too fast?
For reading it too fast.
Mhm.
I was raised with readers, so like they were always like, you can read whatever you want, which explains a lot of my reading taste now.
Uh-huh. Paco's most recent comment, read Wicked in middle school, mistakes were made.
The one by Gregory, I forget his last name.
Let's see, I don't remember.
Maguire.
I remember the cover.
Gregory Maguire.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. Audrey is here. Let's see here. Jamie is here. Paco is either.
Read Boxcar Children when he was little.
I love the box.
Jackson, Twilight, Fablehaven, and The Wizard of Oz in elementary and middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Snazzy read the Dick and Jane books.
Okay.
Elysia read the Boxcar Children.
Yeah.
I've never read the Boxcar Children.
I haven't either.
They're good. I mean, I
want
don't
to
know.
go back and reread them because I'm curious.
And I was about to say, I don't know how well they hold up.
Yeah.
But
that's how I feel about the Narnia books. The Narnia books don't hold up.
I have not read those in years.
Yeah, don't.
It'll burn something in your brain.
Okay. Yeah. I liked those. I liked do you ever read any of the Dear America books?
Yes. The first one my grandmother got me was, I forget the name of it, but it was the girl on the Titanic.
On the what?
On the Titanic.
Oh, Margaret.
I just remember the picture on the front, and I read it like in a day and a half.
Voyage on the Great Titanic.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think that one was like a dark bluish one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a Titanic phase of wanting to read all like nonfiction and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever read? It's an adult book, but A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice. Let's see.
No.
It's a fairly recent one. Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice. It came out, I think early last year, but it a fantastic back and forth between the Titanic and the Carpathia, and like it gave me I have so many feels about the Carpathia. Like I read I think it's called The Other Side of the Night, and just the fact that they tried so hard and that everybody was on board and they had no obligation to come, and that ship went so fast, faster than it was supposed to, like its max speed. I have feelings about this.
Is it by Rebecca Connolly?
Yes.
I think I'm saying her name right.
I think so. I don't know that for sure, but I think so.
Okay.
Hey,
Are you having a
guess
moment?
what I just found on Thrift Books?
What did you just find on Thrift Books?
I can read about witches.
No way!
I bought it for $7.
Yes! If we can do this project together, because I found some of the old Little Bear books from like the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
On Thrift Books for like $2.
Oh,
I was like, yes.
And if you're still working on it, then when we go to McKay's in April, we can see if they have any of the books you're looking for.
Absolutely, because I feel like it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be in one whole video, because that'll be like 4 hours long. I think I might break it up into a couple videos.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh yeah. I loved. Go ahead.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah. I loved reading about the Titanic.
What was the one called? We read it in 5th grade. Something we remember. It was a Titanic book. We read it in 5th grade, and my teacher was reading it out loud, and we were all like in tears because we were like 10 years old.
It wasn't A Night to Remember, was it, by Walter Lord?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And she started choking up so bad that she handed the book to me and made me finish reading it, like out loud to everybody, because my teacher was getting choked up. It's one of those things that wasn't a great experience, but it's like burned in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever read about the orphan train as a kid?
Not as a kid. I read one a couple of years ago that came out. Something about orphan
train girl? Was it a dual timeline?
Yeah.
Okay. As a kid, I read Joan Lowry Nixon's Orphan Train series, and I was fascinated by the whole concept of it. As an adult, I look on it a little more side-eye, like this was not a good plan. But as a kid, it was an interesting concept.
And it doesn't help that when I was a kid, the Titanic movie came out. So like everybody was obsessed with it for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember reading the I think it was Hattie Campbell did the Oregon Trail one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah. And I read a whole bunch of the different ones because they did one on.
And there was a Western one too. I remember there being like a Western Dear America about them going to the West or something. That's really problematic now because of Indigenous people and things that were said about Indigenous people.
Are you thinking of the one that was ivory-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, I vaguely remember that one. I don't remember what it was called.
Me either. I remember I remember the covers more than I remember the titles.
Yeah.
My grandmother
I read Island of the Blue Dolphins too, Kiana, and yeah, it was super sad. I remember getting that in my Especially for Girls book subscription box.
I love it.
It was an awesome book subscription box, but every month you got 2 hardback books. they were like, middle grade, what have you, that age.
I think I read that when I was 8, the dolphin. Yeah.
Yeah, Island of the Blue Dolphins was one of the ones that I got. It was very sad. I've got, if I can find it. Hang on a second. I'm going to show you a thing.
Yeah, I read a whole bunch of the Dear America ones until the suffragist one came out, and then my mother was like, you may not read any more of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, my mother, as a child, my mother did not think it was important for women to have the vote.
Oh, okay.
So that was my childhood.
Okay.
Part of me is tempted to go back and read it just because I wasn't allowed to.
Right. Yeah. My mom was the opposite. She's like, ooh.
My private journal.
Is it yours? I love it.
Yeah, it started it when, let me see. Let's see.
Magic Treehouse book series is awesome.
I'm trying to find a date.
I read them to my brothers all the time. My little brothers, they love them.
October 26th, no year. I'm guessing 86, 87 ish. Because I would have been in 6th grade. So let me hang on a minute. I finished 8th grade in 91, 90. So 89, 88, 88, 87. So yeah, it would have been 87 or 88.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're about 5 years younger than my dad.
Yeah. So it would have been about 87 or 88. Yeah. Oh, Kiana had that same subscription box.
Yeah.
I remember the Hooked on Phonics books.
Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
Yeah. Well, we figured out when I was younger too that it was I had a lazy eye and that's why I hated reading. Because once I got that surgery I got the first surgery when I was 12 and I had to get it redone when I was 17. And once that was fixed, it was just like after the races. I didn't stop reading.
Yeah. We had, and I'm sure I was the only one, but we had the McGuffey readers.
McGuffey. Why does that sound familiar?
You might have heard of them historically. When did they were supposed to be popular in mid-19th century.
Oh, God.
And my mother found a set of them, the revised edition, McGuffey's Eclectic Primer. And they were the most boring thing ever. And like out of school, I would love to read. Those things I hated with a passion.
That's how I felt about a lot of books that we were
This is why I have problems at homeschooling.
It wasn't exclusive to homeschooling, but yeah. I hated all the signed reading. So
Your mother is why I have problems with homeschooling. I love you, but your mom and me got problems.
I got to add the next thing to that soup, but yeah. Yeah, my mother was not well suited to homeschooling. Let's say that.
No, that's definitely one way of putting it. Oh, I got to show you a sticker I got.
Okay, I'm adding the onions to the soup. I will do that very soon. I'm
gonna put it on my. Oh, that's my water jug is right here. Let me see which one I'm peeling off. Hang on. This one.
What do you do with the stickers you peel off?
Throw them away.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Sometimes they have enough stickiness that I put them in like a journal or something.
Okay.
I may not be able to peel this off. Here it goes.
All right.
This may not come off.
Yeah, I've never actually peeled them off before, so.
It's
all right.
Not wanting to come off. I think I picked the wrong sticker.
Same with the highlights. I'm the same way, Kiana, with highlights.
Oh yeah,
loved highlights as a kid.
magazines. You go through them quick.
I grew up not too far from where the Highlights corporation is, and they actually now have like a charity that they run every year.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
you can go stay at the Highlights cabins and stuff, and they're like writer retreats for writers. You can go check out like the first original copy of the Highlight magazine, and from like I think it was 1960.
Oh wow!
And I think it's so cool. I still pick them up now every once in a while because just nostalgia purposes.
Yeah, we always got them in the oh, there goes that ear. In the doctor's office.
Yep.
We
The dentist.
Subscription.
Dentist.
I would always read them at the doctor's office.
Yep. Yep. Snazzy loved him too.
Yep.
I actually have a coffee table book. It's in the other room, but I have a coffee table book that's all highlights. And like, you know how they had the section where kids would write in and people would respond? Well, they found those kids like older in life, and they responded to what that advice actually, if it helped them or not, and that whatever. And it's a coffee table book with all different like little drawings in it. It's really cute.
That's awesome.
Sounds cool. Kiana says they took forever to arrive, which I don't remember that. Right. But yeah, that does sound about right.
Yep. Okay. Well, I got that off.
I was kind of basic though. I read the Babysitters Club books.
We weren't allowed.
Nancy Drew.
Did read Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys.
Yep.
And Cherry Ames.
Trixie Belden.
I remember Trixie Belden. I was trying to remember. I remember it was Trixie something.
And there was a girl called Meg. There was one about a girl called Meg, and there was only like, I don't know, maybe 6 books in the series. And she and her friend Carrie solved mysteries.
I've been really going down like a nostalgia trip lately with books.
Let's see. Gaither Sisters, 7 Secrets.
No, I'll find it. Hang on a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I remember her name was Meg, and the friend's name was Carrie Carmody.
Okay. Did y'all read the box? Not the Boxcar, the Bobbsey twins?
Yes.
No.
We read those.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meg Duncan. Her name was Meg Duncan. There were 6 of them, and they were originally published between 67 and 72, and they were reprinted in 78. I had a couple of them.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
We had, I liked the American Girls. I remember when, I think it was Kit came out.
I never had an American Girl doll, but I always had the books.
Yeah, I had the books. Yeah. We had one called American Adventure, which was an interesting series. It followed one family's line from the Mayflower to the end of World War II.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I never got to read the whole series because the library didn't have them. And they were like $3.95 at the bookstore. And so I would get a couple of them. And then, I wouldn't have a span of them. And then I had one that I found at the used bookstore. It was number 31. And I was like, I've got the Great Depression one and the San Francisco earthquake and whatever. And so I liked that series. Yes, my family is very religious. And that went better sometimes than others. So, yeah. Hey, Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie.
That sounds like a delightful entertainment. Yes, those baby wraps are crazy looking.
Mm-mm. They would always hand them to me after the baby was wrapped because I could never do it.
Yeah. I feel like they're at least more secure than the baby slings that used to be a thing because I feel like those were just like one slip away.
Yeah, the slings always scared me. I never wore them when I used to babysit kids. I never. I'd much rather have like a high chair or something.
I had a mini sling for a doll when I was a child, and the doll got lost. And I eventually did find the doll, but the last thing we need is the baby falling out like the doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Mm-mm. Kiana wanted the dolls so bad, the Samantha one. They didn't have, I think Addie was the black one until Kiana was
Yeah.
grown.
That was my first book. The Addie book was my first one my grandmother bought me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went from there to the Titanic, and then she kind of just found, like, whenever she found them, she picked them up. It was never like in order, but I just read them because I didn't know any better. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I ended up being able to find most of those at the library because if you are isolated as a child and not allowed to have very many friends, books, as many as your mother will let you have from the library, which was usually a limit of 10 a week, which anyway, I went through those.
Yeah. I mean, I had a different experience than you did, but I think a lot of my issues were not issues, but like the reason I went to reading is because I was always in and out of doctor's offices. So when you're by yourself with your parents at a doctor's office, what else are you gonna do?
Right. Read a book.
Yeah. And that's the story of how I became the girl who took a load of books to camp, and they're like, "Why are you bringing a load of books to camp?" Well,
People still think it's weird that I keep a book in my purse.
I'm
like, no.
Yeah, I am trying to lighten my purse, and so I don't carry a physical book with me anymore. But I definitely keep all the ebooks with me all the time.
Yeah, I carry my Kindle with me.
Even if I don't have my Kindle, I have the Kindle app on my phone.
Yeah.
I am very pedantic about not taking my e-reader out unless I'm like on vacation for a week, kind of a thing. Because I don't want anything to happen to it, kind of a thing.
I have like a Teflon cover on that thing because I'm so afraid it's gonna break. I have like the heavy duty cover on that thing. It's right here, actually. Yeah, I don't mess with it. I'm like, nope. I am too clumsy. I don't trust myself. Not gonna happen.
I know where it is.
Yeah. I keep meaning to get a better case, but I haven't done so yet. Like I have like, oh, you guys almost match.
I was about to say, do you have the same case as me?
I think so.
You do match.
That wasn't even intentional. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
And my friend Shay, the one that's doing the Missy Elliott readathon, she picked it out for me, and then I looked at hers, and hers was the same one too, so we all matched.
Yeah, Christine actually gave me that for Christmas last year.
I love it.
Or maybe it was my birthday.
One of the gift-giving holidays.
Though, that it stays. That's my favorite.
That's funny. Now, does yours have the stand on the back of it?
It has like a handle.
Okay, mine's got a handle right here, but it's also got a stand.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know this until my cousin showed it to me. It's got a little pocket thing right there that you can put like a bookmark in or whatever.
Yeah, I have the pocket thing on the back.
Yeah. Go figure. Yeah. That's funny that we have the same case.
That's hysterical. So what are you reading right now, Jen?
I am reading Curious Tides for Princess's Book Club.
That cover is so pretty.
It is. It is. And the book is interesting so far. Like, I'm enjoying it. I know I was kind of concerned about it. Excuse me. Because a couple of other people who were reading it had started it, and they said they were real iffy about it, but I'm enjoying it.
Who's that by? I'm trying to remember the... I see the cover.
Pascal LaSalle or something like that. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, Pascal LaSalle.
I'm waiting on it from my library.
Dolls, but like any other gay boy, I loved Barbie to the chagrin of my dad. And of course, the purse is for books. What else? I don't know. What else would you do?
Because like the other day, we went to get Greg's oil changed, and we were stuck there for half an hour. What are we gonna do?
Read a book?
On my book. I was like, I'm set.
Right, I'm good. Oh man, I'm cold.
I'm not freezing, but I've got like that chill that I can't get rid of.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that
right.
bone chill. I'm just
That's
like,
right. I got a little bit of a chill, and I wasn't sure if I was starting a fever or not, so I took some Tylenol. But I've got my little heater on. I think I'm just cold.
yeah.
I think I'm just cold.
I'm almost done with this one.
Which one is that one?
The Last of the Atlanteans. For
Okay.
my interview in a week and some change. Yeah. Whew. I'm taking this one slow, but
Yeah. I see you're tabbing it up.
I'm trying to. And then I also, because I have it on my Kindle too, I just, if I have any downtime, I also take notes on my Kindle.
Yeah. Yes, I am going to do a birthday haul, Bonnie.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a couple of other packages. So as soon as they arrive.
Yeah, I ship mine out.
Yeah, I'm expecting a couple of other packages. My uncle said he's sending something.
Yay.
And then, I don't know, Alicia said she's sending something.
Yeah. The stuff I was supposed to give you in person. That's okay. Yeah.
It happens.
We'll do a redo in April.
There we go. There we go. I got a frozen TV dinner of tikka masala. And so now all I can smell, because I haven't thrown it away yet. It's in a little bag here on the side of my desk.
How was it for a frozen meal?
It was okay for a frozen meal.
Yeah.
Solidly mid. But the smell of it now.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I keep getting the smell of it. And I'm like, yeah, solidly mid. But, mid tikka masala, better than no tikka masala.
There's one brand, it's called, I forget what it's called, but Food, I don't know if you have them out there, but Food City carries it. And it is the best tikka masala that I've had. That hasn't been like homemade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't have much expectation when they're frozen, and it was a vegetable one made with eggplant. And I was like, ooh. And it was,
I got was chicken.
The eggplant was crispy still, and I was like, yeah.
Nice.
I'll have to send you a picture of that because I have the brand, and it's specifically sold by Food City.
Okay, see, I get mine at Kroger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Walmart has.
There you go. There you go.
Hang on.
Yeah. Paco says he never got into American Girl dolls, but like other gay boys, loved the Barbie. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, my husband called and I was like, well, I should not ignore my husband's call.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it's okay. He called for church about the church meeting tonight. So I was like, all right.
Oh, Walmart has two versions. I might have to try theirs because they have a different one. They have the Saffron Road, which is the one that I've got, but then they also have Deep Indian Kitchen, which I've never tried.
Huh.
I love Indian food.
It's delicious.
So much.
I love masala.
I never had it until I went to college because I went to college with people from everywhere.
Yeah, so, well, I never had it until Jasmine got me turned on to it last year.
Oh, so you're a newbie too?
Yeah. You had it with me.
No, did I?
You didn't love it until you went with Jasmine, but we totally went and got Indian food like 7 years ago.
I don't. Wait a minute. Did we go to the clay pit?
Yes.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Okay, never mind. I did have it. Awesome. We went there, and then you said that, and I had to stop and think about it. But yeah, okay, I remember now.
Yeah, you just didn't become obsessed with it until you went to the good place.
The delicious place.
Yeah. No, I was like 10 or 11 the first time I had Indian food, but I mean, I grew up in a place that has a huge Indian population.
Yeah. I didn't realize how spoiled in the way of different foods I was as a kid because I grew up right outside of Philadelphia. So anything you could think of was less than 20 minutes away. If you wanted Korean barbecue, there was a place 22 minutes away from the house. And then you don't realize it until you move and you're like, darn it, I want Korean barbecue. And there's no
it's on.
Yeah.
Walmart's got it a little bit cheaper than Kroger, but Kroger's got it on sale right now for $2.99.
Good to know. I have to go to the grocery store this week.
Right? I hope it's still on sale on Friday. Anyway, food.
We always talk about food.
As always, it always comes back to food.
With me and Jen, it always seems to go to food.
And Christine too. She's not innocent. She's not innocent.
I like good
Ice
food.
cream treat.
I went to Buc-ee's yesterday.
Mm,
And it's as big as my head.
nice. Nice.
All right.
Very nice.
I'm supposed to add tomato sauce to this thing. It's one of those let it reboil and then add more. Let it boil and then add more kind of things.
They built one right by Dollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually get signs for it. Buc-ee's, 150 miles.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Target one.
Oh, yeah. They're massive. I stop at the one in Royce City, which is outside of Dallas, on my way in and out of Texas every year. They're huge.
It's
Buc-ee's are
crazy.
massive. Yeah, they're absolutely massive.
Have you eaten their burritos or their little breakfast tacos?
I have not.
They're actually quite good.
I've had their brisket. Their brisket is good.
I was about to say their brisket is just to die for.
That's what I had for dinner last night.
Nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Greg looks at me and goes, "We drove to a gas station to eat brisket. This is weird." I'm like, "It's delicious."
Yeah, this is the only gas station food that is acceptable.
Buc-ee's is not a gas station. It is a way of life.
Okay. It cannot
it's like
be both?
a Target mixed with a Wawa.
I've never experienced a Wawa.
If you ever come on the East Coast, Wawa's everything.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I made my brother bring me Wawa coffee when he came to visit. I was like, I miss it so much. Bring it home.
Is it a special way that they prepared, or can you get like the beans and then make it at your house?
Yeah, that's what I do. He gets me the bags of beans and I ground it. I drink it when I'm homesick.
Aww.
Yeah.
Flooding potential. Here's how much rain to expect.
You got it too? I got it like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Rounds
of rain could trigger flooding. Here's how much to expect.
Fun.
AKA don't leave my house for 3 days.
Right.
Leave your house a lot up until it starts so that you will be less sick of your house by the time you've got to stay there. Let's see. I feel like there's one more thing I'm supposed to be adding to this.
I don't know, but I just sent you a message. So when you sit down,
Okay.
we're whispering.
Oh, the answer is yes.
To me?
Yes, the answer to you.
Okay. All right. I will do that.
Yes, absolutely.
I will do that. All right. Hang on. There you go, Paco.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I have to drain this?
I don't know.
What kind of soup are you making?
I'm making borscht.
I've never made it, but I've eaten it.
I have eaten of it and sounded good.
It's delicious.
Yeah, I don't eat beets.
See, yeah, you and I are on the same boat with that. I don't
eat beets.
My grandmother eats pickled beets, and I'm like, I want to throw up.
Oh, no. Pickled beets are terrible, and they are an entirely different beast.
Out of a jar with a fork. Just
same. My grandma. It's like my grandfather would pickle pig's feet. No.
Hey, Paco.
Well,
it's a party.
Yeah. I was bored. I was like, let me see if I can jump on.
Right?
Yes, anytime.
Yay, it's a party.
I feel weird just eating on the stream, but
you'll get used to it.
I mean, if anything, just turn off your camera if you feel like uncomfortable eating on camera.
I just feel like I'm being rude to everybody else that I'm just.
Would it
like-
make you feel better if I got my brownie out?
Okay.
I
Where's-
have
where's the
brownie
brownie from?
left over from last night.
Oh, so,
Where's
okay, so it's not a Stanley Cup like we were talking about, but I did buy a Hydro Flask
Ooh.
because I usually use Starbucks tumblers at work.
Uh-huh.
The ones I bought, I haven't bought any in a long time, people. These are ones I've owned like
Right.
before, but those things are fragile and they break. Like if they fall, they don't last well if they fall. And I'm a clumsy person, so I wanted something sturdier.
Yeah.
Was
So
it
did
really
you-
expensive? Because I really want one of those.
It's like 30 something bucks on
That's
Amazon.
not bad.
Did you end up getting one that has a straw, or did you end up getting one that
No,
like has?
It needs a straw to be
Okay.
at work because of the health department, so it had to have a straw.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to have. It can't be one of the flip ones because it can't be something you have to touch. To,
All right.
Drink.
I'm clumsy too. That's why I asked. Because I drop everything.
But Jen gave me an idea, and I'm like, I'm gonna go look at the stickers I have to see. If
Oh
I'm gonna
yes.
Make sure they're the waterproof ones.
Kiana said, "Hey, Paco."
put- Hi.
I made that mistake with my one water bottle and didn't realize the stickers weren't waterproof.
Mm. Oh, I have placed my Dark Brandon sticker. You know, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna shut up. I've seen a lot of people on Threads because I accidentally over politicized my Threads account.
I'm
I
sorry.
got to do something about that because my Threads is like solid Palestine right now. And it just makes me angry to look at it, and
Right.
that's not good. And I've
I
seen a
feel that.
lot of people talk about Joe Biden on Threads, and all I can say is this: it's like I read somebody say, this is not my sentiment, it's someone else's. But basically, when you're voting, you're not choosing your soulmate. You're getting on public transportation. You're not choosing the one for all time. You're choosing the one that's going to get you closest to where you need to be. And I assure you, Donald Trump is not where we need to be.
See, I agree with you, and I mean we could change the subject, but also I completely am understanding of people who are like, I cannot support someone
Yeah.
who is doing what Joe Biden has done, and like, I mean, if we're gonna be 100 with it, what has he done? Like all the like, I don't know. It's like
He's actually accomplished a lot of things. The problem is he doesn't tout his accomplishments.
true.
He's actually done
Which shows that he's a decent politician, though, in my eyes.
But
what?
I don't know. In today's game, you can't be a decent. I don't know.
But it
I'm
also shows.
voting for that other person. I will most likely vote for Trump. Not Trump, you know what I mean, but Biden. But I understand people,
Yeah.
and I understand, like, you know what? We tried to change things, and
But going back isn't going to change anything either.
I mean,
Yeah.
we still lost Roe v. Wade
Yeah.
under Biden, and Biden them had the opportunity to do things for it. Like they had
Yeah.
the opportunity to stop that, but they didn't.
Yeah. And I think it's very important to have a conversation about the difference between primaries and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
because we're all having primary conversation here. Like unless we get a really viable third party candidate, this is all primary conversation. And I think that's
I love
worth
it.
saying. Because I think we can vote soulmate on the primary
Yeah.
and hope for better so that we get a little closer to where we're going rather than just, well, we're
Yeah.
12 blocks away.
I would
Yeah.
love to see Biden get primaried from the left. But I am also a hardcore leftist. So
But I also think people also need to realize that it's not just the presidency. People need to show up for local elections.
yes.
Absolutely. Because
Thank you. Yes.
And that's regardless of party. People need to show up for local elections. If you want to make a difference in your area, you need to show up for local
That's where
elections.
you got to start. Exactly.
And
Right,
it's not
because-
just like your mayor. You got to show up for school board because these are the people.
School
that are
board is the most important considering book the book issues, the book banning, and the school board is the most important right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe I'm biased because my dad was like actually a member of the school board.
So were both my parents. Same when I was a kid.
Well, the good story is the story is that I guess it was like this corrupt superintendent when me and my brother were in elementary school, and my dad was like part of the PSA or whatever. My dad and mom, and they were just doing really shady shit. And the superintendent told my dad do something about it, like kind of like threatened him, like, oh, you're not gonna do shit. And so my dad said bet, and then won the election and got that guy fired.
That's the way to do things, though.
That's the way to do it.
Bet.
And then my mom got fired because she was a teacher and she didn't vote a certain way that people wanted voted. And this lady threw our name in the mud, even though her son was wanted for fraud. But she said me and my brother were going to end up in jail.
Oh yeah.
But that old hag can hopefully house will fall on her one day.
Yep.
Paco, this will make you happy. It's issue 2 for Dracula from James Tiny.
Ooh, okay.
The art in this one is so different from his normal art, but it's beautiful. I'm trying to not.
Kiana, I saw that. That's actually in the city where I grew up, and I'm not 100% sure if they're serious about it or if they're doing it to try to make a point. Like, I haven't heard anybody from Escandia County actually talk about what they're doing. So I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if they're serious about it or if they're just trying to make a point. If they're trying to make a point, I think it's a really good gesture. If they're serious about it, somebody needs to stop and talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that does definitely drive home the point. Like, if you want better people to vote for at a higher level in 10 years, you got to vote for people so that they can get from
the ground
council to mayor to governor, you know, so that they have enough, at least name recognition, so that they can, you know, do something.
That's why Green Party candidates never win, because they always jump in at the highest level. They have no name recognition. They have no boots on the ground. They have nothing. They just have, you know, somebody
just show up magically one day like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to be able to say, hey, not only do I have good ideas, but I have enough experience implementing some of these ideas that I can actually make some of it happen. Not just, I've got a lot of ideas that everybody will shut down. I have no experience working with people.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I have heard about the dictionary ban, but I haven't heard if it's a serious, we want to do this, or a, we're afraid we'll get in trouble if we don't do this because it meets the criteria. I don't know. It's
all right. I'm about to look it up.
It's a slippery slope.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Very slippery.
Yeah. It's an adventure, and not a good one.
And people are wondering why people are at my age are afraid to have children right now.
I'm not even getting into talk about the environment.
Yeah, no comment.
When kids are getting in trouble for having picture books in my township.
Yeah. Good times are being had by all, for sure.
Yeah. But I will give credit where credit is due. The Brooklyn Library will give access to any child of any banned book from the ages of 1 to 18, any banned book that they want to read for free.
Nice.
So
that is excellent. This is a good thing they are doing. We like books being readily available.
They won't charge if you just prove that your child's under the age of 18.
Also, I love this Percy Jackson as a waterbender sticker.
Ooh.
I need to watch the show, but I'm also afraid to because I love the books.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten into Percy Jackson, but I understand that sentiment.
I'm just like, but I love them. Like, I read them older. When they first came out, I was too old. I thought I was. So I didn't read them till like 2 years ago.
That's fair. Yeah, I was in my 20s when I read Harry Potter, and regardless of, you know, what's going on now, like at the time that wasn't a known issue. Yeah, I was in my 20s when I picked him up, and I was like, hey, now I can finally read what I, you know, wasn't allowed to as a child.
Same. Well, not that I wasn't allowed, but they didn't exist.
Yeah.
So I picked up the series around book I think. I want to
Okay.
say book 5 was the first one that I got on, when it came out.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I had 1 through 4 as a box set. My mom got them for me. And then I think 5, 6, and 7, which I have in hardback, I ordered from the UK because
The UK covers are better.
the UK covers were much better. I liked them.
Wasn't the UK text also a little bit different?
Well,
And
yeah,
the titles.
English spelling.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah. I ended up checking them out from the library first, and then I got them all at Half Price Books.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I never read Harry Potter. I am technically old Gen Z, like that
Mhm.
weird middle. That was middle 3 years where you're not like you're too young to be a millennial, but you're like old for a Gen Z. So I was like already like all the movies were already out when I was not.
Okay.
I think I was. I don't know when the last one came out, but I was still in school.
Yeah.
But Percy Jackson, I read that at middle school as that was coming out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, Devonna.
Hey.
I don't understand the cutoffs for years for millennials and Gen Zs and all that other stuff. So I'm just like, I'm here.
Try being Gen Y.
Mhm.
My parents
So
were,
old.
yeah, my parents were between Gen Y and Gen X.
Yeah.
Like my parents are around your age, Jen. Like,
Yeah.
so they're in that weird, like,
You
I
want
don't know.
to tell me I'm old? I know I'm old.
No, you're not old.
I just turned
Okay.
46.
Both
You're
my
not
parents
old.
are older than Jen. So
I'm old.
My dad's about 8 years older than you, 9.
my mom is turning. If she hears me say this out loud, she'll kill me. My mom is turning 70 this year, and my dad is turning 60.
But you were a late life baby.
Yeah.
Were you a midlife? Yeah. Were you?
Well, my mom had already had her first 2 kids with her old husband, and then got remarried, and then had me and my younger brother with my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is done for now.
And then,
I love it.
and then everybody thinks because my parents had me very young that my dad's like my husband, and I'm like, ew.
Ugh.
The one lady was like, "Shouldn't your husband be helping you with that?" And I turned and looked at her. I'm like, "That's my dad." I was just like so grossed out. I was like,
Yeah.
I know my father's attractive, but he's my dad. That's
Ugh.
No, that's even so. Like I get.
Yeah.
my parents were teenagers when they had me.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mine were not, and I still got mistaken for my dad's wife and my grandpa's wife.
Oh.
People always think my grandmother's my mother and my mom's my sister.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And we all look alike, so people, and we all sound alike apparently on the phone because people think I'm her and people think she's me, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad couldn't tell me and my mother apart on the phone.
Mhm.
I've been told that.
She'd answer the phone and he'd say, "Put your mother on the phone," and she'd say,
Yep.
"My mother's dead."
Oh shit.
I mean, as long as he knew what that response was, and he knew it was definitely
I know
not
it's
you.
just so, woo.
I am now hungry, and so I'm like, what do I want to eat?
I just heated up chili, and I
I had an early morning this morning. I've had like maybe 3 hours of sleep.
Oh, right. I saw you in Jess's sprints talking about you were up. It had to be somewhere at 7.
Yeah, because me and my mom had to do something with a lawyer, and my dad was supposed to go with her, but he had a meeting he had to go to, so I had to go with her. And then we also had to like run a bunch of errands, and then we barely got home. Like I wasn't home when this started.
Yeah.
So I hadn't gotten home yet. Well, hi, Mama. So I'm like, what do I want to eat? We had breakfast, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, lunchtime has passed and it is approaching dinner time, so we got to find you something.
Yeah, I think there's dinner downstairs. I just need to look. I have 2 dogs
I hope it's good.
for attention right now.
I love when my mom stops by and brings me food that she made. I'm like, thank you. I don't have to cook. Woohoo!
Right.
But it's funny, that recipe, that the chili recipe is technically my recipe.
Mhm.
She didn't start eating chili till I made it when I was like a teenager.
Mhm. Yeah. When I make chili, it is my variation of my grandmother's recipe of my aunt's recipe. And I don't know where my aunt got it.
Oh.
I make chili. I open a can and dump it into a saucepan.
Mhm.
And then I get it hot and I put cheese on it.
Mhm.
It's very easy. And if you ever want to know how to make it, it's very easy.
No,
It's
I know.
very
My mom always used the 4-alarm chili kit.
Mhm.
And we would make it false alarm.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
You can't handle spicy food.
Yeah, you put all the spices in it, but you leave the hot stuff out.
Yeah.
So we would do that, but these days I'm like, let me open this can and dump it in a pan.
I do that if I'm making nachos because sometimes I don't have chili.
Yeah, I do that. I like canned chili for like chili dogs or nachos or stuff like that. But like if it's chili beans and rice, like I need like real chili.
That's what I had for dinner. I made some rice and I had the chili over rice.
But I only really have chili when my dad barbecues, and oh my god, my
Mhm.
dad. I don't know if anybody's had it's Santa Barbara style tri-tip.
Oh.
You just made my mouth water, even though I just ate.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really good.
Well, we are helping Devonna procrastinate today.
Yes.
Homework?
Excellent.
Heck, down with homework.
Yeah, we'll do a sprint here in a few minutes, maybe, and let you do some homework. Maybe. Kiana's dad would be 84. Snazzy has DoorDashed Moe's, which we don't have, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
I miss
I know Mel's, but I don't know Moe's.
Moe's, I know I have a friend in Connecticut who likes it. It's supposed to be like fast food Mexican, I think, but like slightly slower fast food, like halfway between Taco Bell and Chipotle, maybe?
Oh, there's one in Murfreesboro.
Oh, okay.
Chipotle makes me sick. Like I don't know what it is about Chipotle, but every time I eat it, I get sick.
Oh, that's no good.
Jinx.
But like, if I make the stuff at home, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the Chipotle stuff.
If I had to choose like a fast food Mexican place that I prefer Jim Boy's.
I choose Blue Coast Burrito, which is a local chain. I think they have like 3 or 4 locations right here in the area. Oh my God, their food is so good.
Blue Coast Burrito?
Yeah.
The one I hate, I don't know if you've been there yet, or if you've ever seen it where you're at, Christine, California Burrito.
Seen it? I don't think I've ever been.
I hate it. It's nasty as hell.
Isn't that the one where they like shove like French fries and shit in the burritos?
I've never had that one there, if that's what they had. I'm a very like basic bitch. I love a good bean and cheese. Like but,
the meat has to be I feel like with a lot of burritos, the meat's too big for a burrito.
Okay.
Especially with like Chipotle, the meat is cut too thick, I feel like.
Well, when I go to Chipotle, I get a burrito bowl. So maybe that's
okay. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wrong. There's 9 locations to Blue Coast Burrito, but they're all right around Nashville.
Darn it. I was trying to Google and be like, I need to find a good burrito place.
None for you. None for you. They're so good though.
Yeah, the closest one is Cooksville. I think
Cookville, yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Jen, I'm reading one of your favorite authors right now, Jay Kristoff.
I DNF that book hard.
Yeah, I
like
Jay Kristoff.
I like Never and I liked Godgrave. I'm like only a couple chapters into this and I'm enjoying it.
Well, the important thing is that you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
I don't have to like it. You have to like it because you're the one reading it.
I don't judge anybody that reads anything. I'm like, that didn't work for me, but if it works for you, fantastic. I'm happy for you.
You guys hear about apparently Babel and Iron Widow were disqualified from the Hugos and no reason was given?
They won't say why.
No.
Yep. Babel, RF Kwong, and Zirin J. Zhao were both disqualified from the Hugos. And the Hugos are refusing to say why they disqualified them.
And they had enough votes, I think, to be
They
nominated.
both had significant number of votes. They both had enough votes to qualify. But the guy said somebody had inquired why they were disqualified, and the spokesperson that they talked to said that upon reading the constitution of the awards of the Hugo Awards group or whatever it is, they had determined that they didn't qualify. And this person replied, well, what part of the Constitution says that they don't qualify?
Right.
I just told you the Constitution says they don't qualify. And like, that's literally it. That's all they'll say. They won't say what part. They won't say why. They won't give any reason.
Ooh.
I mean, I know a couple things have gotten disqualified because of when they came out. Like, they were in consideration the next year.
Babel and Iron Widow came out different times. Like,
right.
They don't have a similar.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Like, is Babel still like, because Babel came out in what, 21?
Babel came out
22.
22.
Yeah.
Babel came out 22. Iron Widow came out 21.
I really like Iron Widow.
Iron Widow was good. I mean, I'm like, is anybody else signing the fact that it's two like Asian femmes that were chosen? I say femmes because I believe Jiren Seisao is non-binary.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Good to know. Yes. I want to pick up their middle grade though.
It's good. It's good. I've read it. Oh, hi, Cisco. Okay, I'll hold you. Oh, you needy little boy. My brother's at work, so.
So somebody's got to give him some love.
Yeah. Babel won the Nebula Award, and it also won a Locus Award. And so everybody's like, why would this book not be qualified for the Hugo Awards?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it can't just be because they are like feminine presenting, because N.K. Jemisin won the Hugos 3 times. It can't just. That wouldn't be.
I don't know if it's because I know Zirin Zhao is very like calls people out on their bullshit. I mean, Zirin Zhao is the one that revealed the Kate Crane scandal.
Was that where that started? I was trying to figure out where it started.
The ones that like it was like, hey everybody, this person's being shady. And so I don't know, maybe it's something like that, but I don't know. I mean, the fact that they won't give us a reason shows that like
something shady's going on.
Yeah. For all we know, they've decided they didn't like the authors or something like that, and so they looked for the tiniest little minutia, like technically this doesn't qualify.
And I
think it's questionable that both authors are Chinese, and to my knowledge, we're the only Chinese authors on the nomination list, and the awards were being held in Chengdu, and so I wonder how much of it is politically motivated.
Yeah, and then I also know that like what's her name? Not Babel author, my mind is blanking. Arfong, one of my literary gods, was very loud during the HarperCollins boycott, and that's her publisher. So I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe like that, or maybe it's something like behind the scenes, like you screw us. Not that Arfquan screwed them, but you know what I mean. Just like their perceived like
they feel slighted in some sort of way.
Yeah. Hey, baby. You should say baby, aren't you?
Yeah. That's fun.
Tiny ears.
I don't know why, but dog ears are like my favorite.
I love dog ears.
I just love it.
I love floppy ears, like Basset Hounds or even Raina's has them. These are cute, I guess.
My mom's dog is a Plot Hound, and his ears are so floppy. And but you can always like, I call it his his like 180 rotation. You can tell when he's trying to figure something out because his ears are just going.
Right.
Like he's like, where is that? And if he gets a smell, forget it. He's gone.
Okay. Are you done? What's the plan?
Yeah, my mom was saying that there was a bunch of buzzards in her yard this morning, and he was losing
Ooh.
his mind. Like a bunch of like vultures and whatnot, and he was going absolutely insane.
Imagine so.
Yeah. Like something is not right.
He's chill unless he feels like you're like weird or something. He gets a very weird, especially with men.
Yeah.
But before my mom got him, he was extremely abused too, so I feel like that's part of it. Now we spoil the crap out of him.
Excellent. As you should.
I call
Remind
him
me,
my emotional support dog.
after the live's over, Jen, I have info about what happened on Sunday.
Oh, I want to hear.
Yeah, we got a little more info today.
Well, Jen will stay tuned with bated breath.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. We should probably do one small sprint to say that we spent it together.
Yeah, we did.
I think Saturday's sprints. I was at work. I was like, let me see what the hell they're doing, and you guys were actually sprinting, and I was like, what is this?
It was like the second one, I think.
Yeah, we actually sprinted twice.
Like,
Yeah.
how?
Super weird. Super weird. Yeah. So, let's see. Jen, do you want to grab a room?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of these days I'll figure out how to get one, but for now it's easier because, I have you.
I can do it.
Do you guys share a StreamYard account?
Nuh-uh.
Okay. Because I know you can do that if you share a StreamYard account with somebody.
I know we have not tried that. But yeah. Let's see here.
Oh no.
What's oh no?
Oh, message.
Oh, okay.
Not a serious no, but just oh no.
I was like, do we have a problem with the cat? I thought we liked cats around here. Black cats are the best.
Black
I
cats
love
not so much.
All right.
Like
Well,
me. Other than that, we're good.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
You ready?
Let's do this. I'll see y'all in
All right.
45. Happy reading. Very, very good.
We're
What
back.
did we do?
I read. Sorry, something fell. I got to like page 20 of Breakup from Hell, and then I ate a burrito. My dad made dinner, so I had eaten a burrito, a Pop-Tart for dessert, and a fruit.
Excellent. That sounds good. What kind of burrito?
Just bean and rice.
Nice. Sounds good. How'd the two of you do?
I reached page 355. So I'm about halfway through.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's good.
What house would you be, or do you know?
Oh God, no idea. No idea.
I think it's like decided on what the moon was when you were where the moon was when you were born.
Oh yeah, let me see.
I think I looked mine up, and I would be the new moon.
About 60% done, about 75 pages.
Nicely done. Did you enjoy them?
Yeah.
Excellent. Hey, Amy, how's it going?
Oh my God.
And Snazzy did some laundry and read a couple of chapters of Dead Space. So that all seems very positive. Yeah. My husband indicated I might need to show up looking, somewhat presentable at this meeting. And so I took a shower and did my best to cover up the hickeys that, I suppose one is not supposed to show up to meetings. Yeah, anyway. So I found the dead body in the book.
Okay, finally.
Yes, it took a larger percentage of the book than I was anticipating to find the dead body.
What are you reading, if you mind me asking?
I am terribly offended that you would ask, Paco. How dare you?
How dare?
No. I'm reading an e-arc of Secrets of the Scottish Isle, which is the 5th Jane Wonderly cozy mystery. So yeah, I have sped through the first 4, which I started because I found an e-arc last January. So I read the 4th one and then I read the first 3, and I just zoomed through them. The 5th one has taken me a little more time to get into, possibly because I had to wait past 20% to get a dead body, and that's
saying something for a cozy mystery.
It's a crucial part of a murder mystery.
That's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still slumpy?
A little bit. I felt connected enough to this installment that I was like, okay, I could read more of that. But yeah, I'm trying not to force the slump out.
Yeah.
Just sort of
write
coax
it
out. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get out of it eventually. Probably.
I feel like when you push yourself through it, it makes you feel worse.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I keep trying to find like light, fluffy things to read. But then my standards for light and fluffy are still be like, that was poorly written. That didn't work.
Yeah.
So I gotta find light and fluffy that's not
bad.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll get through it eventually. I have gotten through all of my previous book slumps, so I'll probably get through this one.
You'll get there.
Probably.
I also feel like, I think we talked about this on Instagram, because we've read so much throughout last year that I don't know if it's like burnout or just like, I don't know what it is. It's taking me forever to finish everything. I'm enjoying everything I'm reading, but it's taking me forever.
Yeah. Last year was the first year in a while that I hit 100 books in a year. And I had to push to get through the A to Z challenge. So I feel like that definitely played a role.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just taking it easy and remembering Jen's phrase that it's a hobby, not homework.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's partially why I like lessened the books that I normally would. Like, I only picked 52 for the year just to make myself not stressed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I lessened by being 120.
And how are you doing on that one so far?
I mean, I've read more books. I mean, January's been kind of slumpy for me.
Yeah.
But I think it's because, like, I still haven't recovered from December, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm books right now. So, I mean, I'm making my way through it.
Mhm.
But it's taking me a minute. But I will return to full strength soon. I'm not forcing it, though. Like you guys said, it's just very, I'm like, going to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the important thing. That's the important thing, because I've gotten through 5, I think, so far, but none that are worth reporting on. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Very meh.
yeah. I'm like, what's the point of this? What's going on? You're expecting me to believe what?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a 5-star yet. I'm waiting to see what the first 5 stars is going to be.
Yes. I am really, really hoping that the e-arc for Where the Library Hides comes out soon.
Ooh. I am excited for my February TBR, though.
I am too.
I'm doing a Cheetah Girls readathon, the Battle of the Girl Bands readathon.
Oh, cool.
I'm reading I have 12 books on my TBR for the shortest month, but I'm excited. I got one of my most anticipated of the my 12 witchy pool video book pick. I got the one I'm most excited to read. So,
Ooh.
spoilers for Friday's video.
For your videos.
And the first witchy video will be out tomorrow. Witchy vlog.
Yay.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're excited about them, it's far easier to get through one book every 2.5 days or something.
Yeah.
So as long as you're excited for it, that's the important part.
And it doesn't help that all the books I'm reading are thick ones.
I just need to go to a Kindle Unlimited moment. But right now it's not Kindle Unlimited that I'm reading. It's webtoons, webcomics, and I'm like,
okay,
that still counts.
Yeah, but I can't count it on Goodreads or whatever. So it's yeah.
I don't know why not. That's a silly policy.
Yeah, I'm the same way with fanfic. Some people have the fanfic on Goodreads and Storygraph. So if you're reading it, count it. You're reading something.
Reading is reading.
Exactly.
Yes, we're not gatekeeping any of this.
Yeah, I don't need to know. I don't need y'all to know what
that is fair.
I don't need people knowing what I'm reading.
I mean, keep it, but it's still reading.
Yes. There needs to be an option on Goodreads for, this is how many unreported pages I have read.
Yeah. Right now it's it's a webcomic called Yakuza in Love.
Oh God.
I want to read it just off the title.
It's cute. I mean, it's got smut, but it's cute because it's a Yakuza boss son thinks this guy is his mama, and so he kind of becomes the nanny of this, and the son's adorable. And so the son's like the dad who's the boss of the Yakuza or whatever. He's like, Dad, Papa, why aren't you giving Mama a kiss or whatever?
Yeah, Dad, why aren't you giving Mama?
Uh-huh.
And the main character is like, this is dangerous. I'm with Yakuza, but he's hot. But he's hot.
This is a bad idea, but do I care?
Have you read I think it's a manga. It's the Yakuza House Husband.
No, but I may.
It's cute. It's cute in that same kind of way that you're talking about.
I have a friend who loves it, so
yeah.
And just the little kid though in it is so adorable because the dad was really strict because the mom had died, and so he's really strict on the son. The son wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff, but he wasn't allowed. He could only wear black and white clothes for some reason. And when the nanny comes in and gets him he finally allows him to wear color, and he's like, I'm a crayon. It's I don't usually like kids, but this is cute.
I feel like kids are either written to be way too young or secret 40-year-olds and 8-year-old bodies, and it drives me nuts. Kids don't talk like this.
Yeah.
There is this one anime I was watching, and it's on Netflix. And it's I don't know, forget the name of the character's neighbor. And
Mhm.
it's like this little kid he has to be younger than 10, but like probably younger than 7. He's his own guardian, and he's like
geez.
living in an apartment. But like the neighbors are like, we have to kind of take care of this kid.
Okay.
But like you find out the kid's got a lot of trauma, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, I can imagine any child taking care of themselves at 7 would probably have lots of trauma.
yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Audrey has gotten the clarinet put away and the kiddo's homework done. So, bedtime book and then Audrey's book.
I am not going to finish my TBR this month.
Oh well.
You can do it. I don't know. And if you don't, who's gonna fight you? He will. This guy will fight you.
I'm all for letting books roll over. Like, if you still want to read it, roll it over to the next month.
Yeah, I may do that because I really
It
want to
doesn't
read
bug, it
Vampires
doesn't
of
bug
El
me as
Norte.
much as it used to.
Yeah.
It bugs me spiritually, not for other people. Like, do what you're gonna do. I don't care.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For myself, if I've like I will DNF a book if this book was in my January TBR and I'm like haven't gotten to the halfway point and it's already
Mhm.
the next month. I'm like, I'm not reading this now. I want to get to my February books.
Or I NFN, not for now. Like,
Yeah.
it's a light DNF. Like, my brain can't handle this right now, so let me just put it down for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really want to finish Curious Tides because it's really good. And I really want to read Vampires of El Norte. I don't care about everything else, but I really want to read
those are the best two to read.
Those are important.
I'm excited for you to read Vampires of El Norte, and I expect updates while you read it.
Yes.
And Alicia, you need to read it too.
Yes.
It's on my list. I'm waiting for it to come in through the library.
Okay. All right. Well, move it up.
I know.
And,
I want to yell at my librarian and be like, "Where is this?"
Mhm.
And then they all come in at the same week, and I'm like, "I can't read it all at once."
I will say that's one of my
a
victories.
National Library card.
No,
Oh, yeah.
not yet. It's on
You
my
missed
list.
Hang on a
Yeah,
minute.
we did the great book library card exchange recently.
Yeah. It's on my to-do list to do this week.
Excellent.
Okay, give me just a second because I'm looking at something.
Are you looking to see if you can send Alicia a link?
I'm looking to see if Nashville has it
Ah.
active. Yes, Nashville has 4 of 6 copies available on the ebook.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah. Hang on a minute.
Oh, I have
Don't wait on me. I'm looking at stuff.
Oh no, that's totally.
packages I can get from outside.
There you
Ooh,
go.
that's exciting.
But I don't want to go to
Package on my front door.
like I know I have my book club pick for next month is here. I'm hoping Voyage of the Dam came from the UK.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So I ordered it from Waterstone.
Mm-hmm. We do love a good book mail. Yeah. Yeah.
You might like the book that I'm also reading, Paco. It's by Simon Jimenez. It's called The Spear Cuts Through Water. It's
Oh,
really
I've heard nothing but great things about that.
I'm 30% in, and I'm purposely reading it slow because it's just written so pretty. But it's not purple. It's just I want to take my time with it because it's just a lot. But it's not like pretentious.
I hate when this happens to Dust Jacket.
Well, looks good. Yeah, that's the problem. There's so many good books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the thing that it compares our books to all of the little wine cellars, where you're just cultivating a thing so that you can grab the right one when you feel the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
2 of my favorite things on the planet, right there.
Look,
Wine and books.
If we had to go into another shutdown, I am good for a little bit. On like that whole shelf.
There you go.
Is my
Okay,
TV shelf.
so Alicia, I just sent you a private message on Instagram.
Okay.
Read it for the class to know.
It's important.
It's important. Yes.
Oh, is this yours?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Now
you.
you have no excuse. Jump on it.
No,
Yes.
I don't.
I was on the light rail today, which is the train system here, and earlier today, And I said it in the Discord. See if you are there, you saw it. So sitting next to me and my mom is this lady who's talking about how the feds put something in her mind, and like how they're the P word. Because they would watch her when she was a kid, and she's talking to herself.
Oh,
And
wow.
then behind us, I'm guessing this guy is talking to his ex, because he's saying, "You blinking S, I'm gonna kill you and your S daughter," blah 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 blah, like shouting. And I'm like, and then the person across from him is laughing because he's coked out, and I'm like, this is public transportation at its best.
Yeah.
This is why people drive.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an adventure out there. Because I mean, sometimes it's just prohibitively, sometimes it's not really feasible
Yeah.
to drive,
Mhm.
especially if you're in a major city. Like
Yeah.
it's just a nightmare. And so,
And
you know,
yeah, sometimes it's prohibitively expensive, like you were about to say.
mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
And there's just so many things that can be barriers to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great if you can, but yeah, sometimes you're like, which is the worst?
I mean, like where I work, there's no parking
That's
Yeah,
that's a
That's
problem.
also a problem.
because it's like the major city area, and there's like just no like parking. So even if I did drive,
Mhm.
there would be no point.
Yeah, if you have to walk 3 miles to get from a reasonable parking spot,
Mm-hmm.
then why did you even bother? Yeah, I had to take BART into the city a couple of years ago, and I got to the BART station, and it took me 45 minutes to find a parking spot that was like a mile and a half away. And I was like, at that point, I might as well just have driven to the city because this is ridiculous. Because sometimes there's just it's what even. What
Does
even?
does this library use Libby or
Yeah, it's Libby.
okay?
I like
I
how
mean-
Jen's like, I sent you a private message, read it, and Alicia's like, "Oh, is this your like?"
I mean, I don't care who knows. I'm just,
I know, but it was just funny.
give a shit who knows.
Oh, look.
Yeah, no, it's the two of you can read this, and then I want opinions on all sorts of things because I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I mean,
Mhm.
it was my top books of the year.
Yep,
Isabel Cañas can write anything. She hinted at her next work in progress, and it had like ocean.
Ooh.
And so I'm like, are we getting sirens? Are we getting like Mexican sirens, which like with the serpent tail? Like I don't. There's some mermaid, like Mexican mermaids out there, or Latin mermaids that are ooh.
I will definitely read more from her. I have the Hacienda on my TBR.
I really like the Hacienda.
Hacienda's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See, it's so good to be able to share all of these things because I probably wouldn't have found this without Paco because I don't usually venture into fantasy.
Even though this is more like horror, like her writing.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
definitely is not something that Christine usually reads.
Yeah.
No.
I thought of Christine because someone had described it as they said this is a Western Gothic story, and I was like, okay. I was like, I had already read it, of course, because I'm not one of those people that is like, I'm gonna recommend you something I haven't read. Yeah. Like if I recommend something, it's gonna be like, I think you'd like this. I think so. I was like, it's not super fantasy, so I think she might enjoy it. Especially because you had
talking about Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas.
Yeah. Especially since you enjoyed What the River Knows, and it had that same level of like magic.
Yes. It was like just enough tension, but it had like a historical romance going on and a little bit of, almost like a what if kind of. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. That was. Yeah. It worked really well. But Vampires of El Norte, highly recommend. Yes, I want to hear everybody's thoughts on it, and they should all be positive.
If they're not, I will find you.
I want to hear how you liked it, and you better have liked it.
Well, I mean, having read it, I can tell you should like it. If you don't like it, you must have different tastes than me, and I don't know if that's allowed. I won't say there's something wrong with you.
I have different taste from you.
Yes, that's.
Isn't that how the friendship started? You have instant taste?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, that's a nice way of saying it.
Something I don't know.
Yeah.
Something. Please write something for me so that I can read it with my virgin eyes.
Right. Because we of course would never encourage underage individuals to read adult content.
You mean fanfic.net?
Did you mean?
Yeah. That place was a disaster. I'm so glad we got AO3. Now I just need like Amazon and Libby to get that level of searching ability.
Right?
Oh
If
god. Can you imagine if they had the search bar that AO3 has?
God, could you imagine the power?
Right? If AO3 can do it, I don't understand why Libby can't. I genuinely don't. Like, I should be able to.
AO3, like, you don't read smut, but can you fanfic categorize on who's the blank and who's the blank? The specificity of it is crazy.
Yeah, I can sort by word count and give me a vibe, and like I realize that would be difficult, but like you have professional publishers, surely we can get some stats like that fairly
All
easily.
those books from what's the other one? It's not AO3, but it's what is it? Wattpad. They're getting traditionally published now. Like
Okay.
Wattpad has its own publishing house.
Wow.
Is that a good thing? No.
Well, I fell down the rabbit hole of Omegaverse.
No shame here. We are all.
We've all. Well, Christine may not, but the rest of us, yeah.
The Omegaverse rabbit hole.
I'm like, I know what it is, but it was like I fell down like a rabbit hole, and then there was like that video that I sent Jen of like the history of Omegaverse and how it all started. I was like, what is
Me and Helen once spent a good 40 minutes on Discord describing to Lynn in detail what Omegaverse is.
Oh, poor Lynn.
Oh man.
We warned her and told her she doesn't want to know.
That would be an interesting conversation.
And we warned her and told her she shouldn't. You don't want to know, but they kept asking.
Yeah.
And so
there's some things that I'm just like, I can't unsee that. Thank you.
My favorite thing though is one of the like book followers, people I follow on Instagram, she's a TikToker too, but she was describing how she had to describe to her writer friend what AO3 was, not AO3, but Omegaverse was, because she was reading his like book and he said to her, "You're my beta," and it made her flinch.
Oh no.
It led her having to describe what it was. But there's a tradition
in the book, or did he refer to her as like his beta reader?
You like beta reader, but he said, "You're my beta."
Oh no.
Yeah.
And that just made her cringe.
Wow.
But, there is a new traditionally published romance that's Omegaverse. That just
traditional?
Yeah. I will say, I don't think if you're gonna do Omegaverse, why are you doing it straight? It's not as fun.
Isn't that the whole? Okay, that's news. All right.
Yeah, it's a wolf shifter romance, and it's like I think. What is it called? Because me and Helen were looking at it. Something it's called. So it has like a vet scene, kind of like veterinarian, like because they're doctors. But
okay. Oh, I remember hearing about this. And it has like a very unassuming, like cartoony cover.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that has that in it? What? Why?
Well, they're wolf shifters, so.
That's another one of the arguments I have against people. The cartoon covers.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that.
I just think there's the issues when it comes to shelving because some bookstores shelve those cartoon covers in like teen, and they're not teen.
Yeah,
I haven't.
YA.
I haven't
just like, yeah, no, that Tessa Bailey cannot be with Regine. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and that would be, I think, one major argument in there. Like, I don't think that there should be like mandates for how it's done. Like, everybody gets to make their own choice for their books, but it certainly should be a consideration. Like, we don't necessarily want this content being marketed towards young adults. They need to be able to fully consensually consume this.
But to me, isn't that also just on the bookshelvers being lazy and not doing their own works?
Yeah.
Because they're also putting J. Kristoff, which it's a book like this in YA, and it's like, this is not YA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you read it,
I can see where some of the people, like some of the authors that do write YA and adult, how that can be mixed up, but like do the research, because like at least I don't remember looking and doing research when I was a teen. I was like, oh, that's a cool cover, let me read it.
Right.
And that was
also,
it.
when like we were younger, and like especially like me, it was kind of starting, but YA wasn't really a genre when we were younger.
No,
not the way it is now.
Right. Right. But there is something to be said for the fact that we all judge books by their covers. Like, even if it's not my genre, if I look at a cover, I can often figure out, okay, you know, that feels horror, that feels fantasy, that feels YA. And so if we are judging books by covers and then we're crossing genre boundaries in there, you're like, okay, is that really going to be the most effective choice?
I agree with you, but I feel like at this point, I don't know any YA books that have that cartoony style cover that the romance do. Like, I haven't seen any that look like that. YA has because I read YA is one of my main genres I read. Their covers don't look like that. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen the cover, so I'm just based on the cartoon thing.
Yeah, their covers are like, if they're like cartoonish. Here, I'll give an example.
I don't hate the covers. I just wish that they would go back to like more like clinchy, like not clinchy. I don't mean that in a bad way, but like you look at the cover and you know it's a romance book. Like there's a shirtless dude on the cover, you know it's a romance book. Or like, they've been taking away like the main selling points to a lot of genres. It seems like to make it more to everybody.
These are not the same style.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, one is clearly an adult romance. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
Cartoony style
I love
cover.
that. I love that series though. That series is so cute.
This is like animated style, but like not like you could tell.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair.
Am I gonna put those books away anytime soon? We'll see. And like even get back up. They did Allie Hazelwood has her YA debut that came out last year, which has the same cartoony style, but it is still like, even compared to her other, you could kind of tell this is YA compared to this. Yes. One looks very cute and the other looks like it's got a little bit of sexual tension going on in it. Yeah. So I feel like when people don't want to think it's hard, it's not that hard. I'm not saying you, Alicia. I'm just saying like.
Oh no, I know. It just I find it interesting when I go in my like local bookstore and I'm like, that's not YA. Why is that in here? Like the one section had Colleen Hoover books. I'm like, that's not YA. Why is that here?
Those aren't even cartoon covers though, so that's not even like, to me that's more on the people not wanting to shelve shit properly.
Yeah, and that's what irks me. I'm like, if a 16-year-old is picking up Colleen Hoover, we have.
But also, are we ones to judge if a 16-year-old is picking up Colleen Hoover when some of us at 16 probably read it?
Yeah, I
mean, I was in middle school when I stared reading V.C. Andrews. So
V.C. Andrews was trouble.
Look how we turned out. Like, I read Wicked in middle school, and
well,
I don't know.
Mistakes were made.
I mean, unless you're someone's parent, I always find it weird to say what people should and shouldn't read.
Yeah, I feel like I wish people would actually not. I don't mean monitor in a bad way. I wish people would monitor what their kids are actually reading just for safety purposes. Some of the stuff in some Colleen Hoover books is not okay.
Sometimes, like, I'm just like, to play advocate. sometimes that's the only way these kids can. I'm not defending Colleen Hoover. Let's get this straight.
Yeah. I just have an issue with
But
the fact that like she's okaying problematic very
Yeah.
problematic relationships.
Yeah.
But for every Colleen Hoover, you have some kid who's queer that's reading their first queer book
Right.
that their parents don't know they're reading because maybe they can't be out safely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just don't like that her books specifically are normalizing shit that's not okay at all.
Yeah. And you would hope that first of all, you would hope that parents would be kind and loving and, good to their
Yeah.
children, but you would hope that parents are having meaningful conversation with their kids, not just you can't read this, but if you're going to read this, we're going to have a conversation about it.
That's what my parents did. They were like, you can read anything. If you have questions, though, come to me. Don't go to other people.
I feel like people forget kids aren't stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I feel like a lot of people go into it thinking like, you're 16 and you're reading a Colleen Hoover book, you're not gonna see the red flags. And maybe some won't, but there are like people aren't stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think that we can be susceptible to certain triggers. And
Right.
so, kids especially have not had as much experience being able to say, you know what, this makes me feel a certain way, but let me also examine what I'm normalizing.
Yeah.
Not that young adults cannot exercise good discretion and critical thinking, but they have had less practice at it. And so we want to make sure that there are hopefully good adults in their life who help them think through these things and practice thinking critically.
Yeah. Like you'll see on my like Goodreads and Storygraph, I read a lot of like middle grade and like children's books because I have younger siblings.
Sure.
I read everything I give them just to make sure like it's at their reading, because each of them is at a different reading level. So I just try to make sure it's at their reading level, or like something that my dad won't scream at me for giving them. Be like, what did you give them? I proofread everything just to be safe.
Yeah.
Can't hurt.
I also like just going on this topic, like with the internet being what it is, they're getting this shit no matter what.
True.
Right. Yeah. But I also feel like when people get it, when they're not getting any type of, I don't know if guidance is the right word, but like if they don't feel comfortable to talk to their parents about that, then there's a more disconnect with.
Yeah, and then I wonder, you're not hearing these conversations as loud as you are about like TVs and movies. That's
a fair point. Completely.
Like,
or is it PG if a woman's completely naked, or if
you're mad at your kid for reading Colleen Hoover, but the kid's favorite show is The Sopranos.
Yeah. And somehow that's okay.
Yeah. But that brings it back to what I was saying earlier. Like, you can read this, but we're gonna talk about why this specific thing in the Colleen Hoover book, for just example, is not okay. It's not like should not be normalized.
And then also, sorry, continue. Go
ahead.
I was like, it's hard. I'm not a parent, but it is hard being a parent because not only do you have to raise your kid, you got to make sure you can provide for them. And so, like, I feel like we shouldn't and we are not doing that. We shouldn't shame parents who aren't able to read every book their kid reads.
Right. Yeah.
Because some of them are single parents that have to work 2 jobs, or some of them have 2 other kids that are like younger that they've got to take care of. So you can't protect everything your kid is going to get their hands into. I mean, like with the internet being like what it is.
The minute you give them a phone, you might as well forget it.
Right. But I think that goes back to a point of being able to have meaningful conversations that start hopefully when they're young, where you created an atmosphere where we can talk about anything freely. And so even if you're not carefully monitoring, you're discussing the larger issues that are at play.
They feel comfortable enough to come to you if they have an issue with something.
Yeah.
Right. And I realize this is a very idealistic conversation because
hence why I proofread. I read everything I give to the kids just in case, because my dad doesn't have time to. I'm like, let me because I am their older sister, let me be like, okay, this is at the reading level. I think they'll enjoy this, but this isn't at the reading level. I'll give it to them next year or something like that.
Yeah. And I think that's helpful to be aware of what kids are in your life, that you can be like, okay, you know what? How can I be part of the village that is raising these kids? Because if the community is involving them as full members of the community and, doing their best to look out, then that's, I think, very positive, because you're like, hey, let's think about these things critically. Let's think about these things together, not just, well, it's your dad's problem, not mine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hello, Saf. This is what you've walked in on.
Hi, Saf.
Hi.
Interesting discussions.
Quite.
But as I always say, important discussions, because if you don't have them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be talking about this kind of stuff. See, this is the kind of stuff we need to be talking about, and not, oh, gee, I wonder if audiobooks really count as reading.
Yes, that is
My
a
little
much better-
brother asked me that. He's like, Leisha, I found audiobooks at the library. You use audiobooks, right? And I'm like, yeah, they're still reading. And now he listens to, they're age appropriate audiobooks, but he listens to audiobooks.
There you go.
Yeah, good.
And he has because they got Kindles last year for Christmas, and so they got like the kids version of Kindle Unlimited. I guess there's like a kids version.
Nice.
And apparently you can get a bunch of audiobooks through the kids version of Kindle Unlimited.
I remember my cousin, she's a teacher. I think she teaches 6th grade. And she messaged me one day. She's like, hey, one of my students is reading Cinder. Is that okay? And I'm like going over it in my head. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But if you see them touch Sarah J. Maas, drop kick it out of their hand.
Yeah, Cinder's fine. Cinder, I actually read it recently and I had a good time with it.
I feel like I got halfway through it and I didn't plan to DNF it. It
Put it
got
down.
overwhelmed by other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I haven't continued this series though. I do own Scarlet. Is Scarlet the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seth said my niece recognizes letters. How soon until I worry about her reading ACOTAR?
Hey. I was watching a TikTok and this girl said that people that are there'll be like bigger creators that are like wanting to get into reading.
Uh-huh.
And their comment section set them up for failure because it said, how are you going to recommend a lesbian ACOTAR? Like, what is she gonna get out of this? But it was just like, because the person obviously they had read it, I guess, and they didn't like it. But I was just like, wow.
I read the first book and I see why people like it, but I feel like I missed the boat with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm happy people like it, but I'm just like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's fair. Not all books are for all people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something is
a little bit of everything. Like I read the first.
Not everybody,
my
like I said, not everybody is meant for greatness.
Right.
Talking about you guys who didn't like Babel.
Just casually firing shots over here. It's all good.
I don't think you don't count, Christine, because you haven't even read it. But those two
I have not.
You didn't have to.
I do not think you would like it though.
Beginner-friendly books in your favorite genres.
Oh,
ooh,
Like
what
that's hard
age
to say.
Okay. For young adult, a beginner-friendly young adult. If we're going fantasy, young adult.
Video idea, you almost do it now. No.
What was that called? Oh my goodness!
Lunar Chronicles would be a good
They're very age appropriate.
Beginner into sci-fi, even though I'm not really a sci-fi reader like that. For comics, Catwoman Lonely City, I think would be beginner friendly.
I finally found that physical copy. It's huge.
Self contained story. Hello, Morticia. But I saw a post where someone said that they're like, oh, here's some beginner into fantasy. Why was Priory the Orange Tree? And
that'll turn someone off of fantasy quickly.
Right?
Priory the Orange Tree.
I love that book.
Advanced fantasy.
Yeah. And some people that I even know that are advanced fantasy didn't like the book, and that's
No, it's not.
Somebody's got to be. I mean, it's a fantastic book, but you've got to be willing to make that commitment.
you got to sit with it.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta like weight train to get to something like that. That's not something you just.
There were sections though. I'm like, where is this going? And then I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like for Day of Fallen Night, you just have to like experience Day of Fallen Night.
Yep. Now, having read them both, do you think it was the right order to read Priory first?
I feel like it was.
I do too.
Because there are references made in Priory that talk about the events in A Day of Fallen Night. And there are characters that you're like, if you read Day of Fallen Night, you wouldn't understand who a character was or get the relevance of this character until later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think Priory still needed to come first, even though Day of Fallen Night is technically a prequel.
And she supposedly has a third one coming out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
She has like another one for sure, and then she has ideas for a sequel to Day of Fallen Night.
Ooh.
Like in more
I
direct.
thought the whole point of Priory of the Orange Tree, though, was that it was a standalone.
She refers to Day of Fallen Night as a standalone prequel.
Which it is. It is.
Yeah, it totally is. You can read the ones without having to read the other.
Okay.
Why would you? I don't know.
I mean, if you make the commitment and you read Priory, there's no reason not to read Day of Fallen Night.
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I'm
Something
probably
wrong
in like March or April.
It's just like I said, something you gotta just experience.
Yep.
I'm still not recovered from it.
I really like I gave the first Priory 5 stars.
Oh yeah.
So I will say there's a section in the audiobook where they make the one character sound like he's from Georgia, and I'm like, why? Like a Southern man from Georgia, and I'm like, stop. And it was like a minor character, but it was driving me nuts. It was like only like 20 minutes of the audiobook, and I'm just like, why is this happening?
Why are you talking like that?
Why do you sound like you're some person from Savannah?
It puts me in mind of that. There's one character in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And he's a bad guy. And he literally has one line. And his line is, "Where are the targets?"
Mm-hmm.
That's his line. And he repeats the line once. He said, "Where are the targets? Where are the targets?" Only what he says is, "Where are the targets?"
No.
Where are the targets?
That would drive me nuts.
It's fucking hilarious. I nearly lost it in the movie theater when he spoke. I was like, holy shit, let the Tidewater fall out of your mouth, son.
Well, you know what? If you only got 1 second of screen time,
and you might as well accent it up.
We are talking about him.
Silver Flame Like Night is a good place to start if you like fantasy with dragons.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Amelie Wen Zhao.
That author's just not for me.
Yeah.
Because you're not in the MCU fandom as much anymore, Jen. But I need to know what the MCU's problem is with Sam Wilson. Especially What If. Why has Captain Carter had more screen time than Captain America Sam Wilson?
Are they saving him for something?
No.
He has a movie coming out.
Why, Paco?
Yeah, I mean we know why. We know why.
You know why.
We know why. But I'm just stating this. But also, I know that Captain America, he has a movie coming out, but there's all problems with that movie already.
Yeah. You know why.
Yeah. I'm not. Besides the obvious problems, I am not sure how long the MCU is going to hang on. Just if everybody has different opinions. I didn't love the Secret Wars comic run when it went. So I am. I've been hearing that that's maybe where things are going, and I'm not excited for it.
Well, the Secret Wars was a TV show. Wait, no, I'm confusing Wars and Invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I messed up my names.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might be changing it though because of what happened with the actor that they have playing Kang, who is like
Yeah.
the villain.
Yeah.
Because he got, I think, arrested. I think he was convicted guilty.
Oops.
For his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
people
MCU
are like,
is getting ready to collapse under its own weight.
it is. And honestly, if they did, I hate that it's now that they're starting to do more BIPOC stories.
Yeah.
More.
Well, it's like I lost a lot of respect for the people running the MCU when they were like, "Oh yeah, Endgame's gonna have the first gay character in it," and it was one guy with a fucking throwaway line.
It was the director. It was a throwaway line.
Yeah. Like, no, that's not no.
Honestly, I would be completely okay if they if they just wrapped up the MCU and then like someone else started on the X-Men.
Yeah.
I just I could care less about the MCU.
I really like that Miss Marvel show.
Huh?
That I really liked. I really like the Miss Marvel
They have
show.
some gems in it right now.
Yeah, Miss Marvel show was fantastic.
And I really enjoyed the Marvels. I thought it was really fun.
I still need to see it.
I enjoyed WandaVision, even though, like, let's recast Wanda to be an actually Romani actress.
Can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, we're introducing multiverses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But you know, a Romani actress, we can't do that.
Oh,
Hi, Amy.
Yeah, and the Elizabeth Olsen Hive would go feral.
Yeah.
But I would love to see them in anguish. The Wanda stands like
cry.
Yeah. Well, no, Wanda stands are the queer version of dude bro comic book fans. And just as much as I loved it when the Zack Snyder verse ended because of the dude bros tears, because I'm still bitter about Batgirl. I will forever be bitter about Batgirl being canceled.
It's fair. It's fair. I am still mad about how badly they made the second Wonder Woman.
The first one was so good.
So good.
It's good anymore though, because fuck that actress.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can recast. They can come up with something better.
Yeah.
And
I love the movie, but at this point, I don't even think I could watch the movie anymore.
That's fair.
I did appreciate the one thing I did appreciate is that they brought Linda Carter in.
Yeah.
Show some love for the originals.
But like, yeah, no, the second one was terrible.
Yeah.
I liked aspects of it. I just wished. I don't know. Wonder Woman is like my second favorite fictional character of all time. Like, I have so many opinions on that.
I liked aspects of it. I just thought that overall it could have been so much more, and they failed to reach their potential. And that's the disappointing thing. Not that there was nothing there. It's just that they had all of this there, and this is what they did with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like just in general, they're too damn long. Like, they are too long. Like, the Marvelers movie was fantastic. It was like 100 minutes. It was great. We had a great time.
I don't need to sit for 3 hours in a theater.
No, it's just like, no. And of course, everybody was talking crap on it because, oh my God, the main characters are women. Like,
I don't know. It's just like, but I will say that Black Panther 2 deserved that the length time it had, the long time it had. It needed it, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Some of them do. It's just like all of them don't need to be almost 4 hours.
They don't all need to be, but if you can give me something that's worth sitting there that long, I'm here for it.
Yeah, like I love Black Panther. I haven't seen the second one yet, but I've loved Black Panther.
The second one was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid to watch it because I know I'm gonna cry like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's one of their better ones. It's right up there with like Miss Marvel, and like I have not seen the Marvels yet, but I feel like it was one of their better ones.
Really good.
Yeah.
What is your guys? Okay, since we're talking about MCU, like rank your guys' MCU movies, your favorite ones of the MCU.
I haven't seen many, so I don't know if I could fairly do that.
I already know Jen's is going to be Winter Soldier.
Say that again.
I know your favorite's gonna be Winter Soldier.
My favorite MCU movie?
Yeah, is it? Is it not Winter
Um,
Soldier?
Yeah, I guess I would have to say it would be Winter Soldier because, like, I would say, the Avengers. I really liked the Avengers movie, and I really wanted to like Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that Joss Whedon has his head so far up his own ass,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, aside from the fact that, like, at this point, he's fucking toxic,
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have to go with Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It was just a really fantastic political thriller.
It was. I
So,
thought it
bye,
was really
Snazzy.
good.
Good
Snazzy
night.
rocks.
I'm trying to think of what mine is. Like, if I had to. which
Yeah.
one
I really loved Winter Soldier. I'm trying to think what else, if there's anything that I've forgotten. I loved Black Panther. Black Panther was really good. I enjoyed Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel
I
had
love
issues
Captain Marvel.
to me, but it wasn't Brie Larson.
Mm-mm.
It was like a lot of writing issues.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because Brie Larson can act. Like her ass
But they
off.
made her seem very wooden, which was weird.
Yeah.
because I know she can act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I feel like they were trying to make her the female Tony Stark, and that's just not what Carol
Mm-mm.
is.
Right.
My brother hates Carol, but not because of he hates her because of comics.
Okay.
Fair.
And so it was fun watching it. I think it was because of Civil War II.
Mhm.
He just hates Carol.
Mhm.
But it's hard. I'm thinking MCU, and my mind keeps thinking of the terrible X-Men movies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Which ones?
First Class is like
Oh yeah.
I would fight whoever
Yeah.
decided to do.
Yeah.
Whoever.
And
That fucking was.
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I really liked Logan.
I
Logan
want them
was
to
good.
do a sequel to that. It's time enough. They can do a proper sequel to it.
Deadpool 3 is gonna have Hugh Jackman in it.
I'm so excited.
I want a Laura sequel.
I do too. And I mean, I love this like push of making Laura Latina. That because like in Laura started out is very Harley Quinn. She started out in the cartoon series X-Men Evolution, and she was a dark-skinned woman. Not dark skin, but darker skin. She wasn't white, clearly not white in the animated series. But when they brought her into the comics, they like whited her. And so like let's canonically make Laura Latina.
It's time. We can do all sorts of things, but I would love to see Logan follow through with something that's got a little bit of weight to it.
Yeah.
Because I would go for that.
Logan was good. I would say Logan was good. Just I will never forgive them for what they did to Emma Frost in the X-Men in First Class.
I just love Hugh Jackman. Just show me Hugh Jackman on the screen and I'm fine.
But the thing I hate about it though, Wolverine's supposed to be short.
Yeah.
Right? Wolverine's a little bit
he actually commented on it. They made him his posture is really bad from doing the movies because they made him.
Well, no matter what posture Hugh Jackman was gonna have, Wolverine has always been a short, hairy man.
Yeah, Wolverine's like 4'8" or something like that. Let me pull
like,
it up.
Hugh Jackman is 6'4".
There's no way that Hugh Jackman would have been able to have been like this. Like the go-to like fight move they have is Colossus hurling Wolverine like a ball.
Yeah.
Wolverine is 5'3" in the comics.
He's my height, and I'm tiny.
Yeah.
Like height-wise, I'm tiny.
Yeah.
Wolverine is a short Viking.
I love Hugh Jackman. Like,
hey, Mystic.
And he was one of those people when I met in person, I'm like, he touched me. He touched my arm. I was like, I literally lost all like form of function in my brain. I was like, he hugged me. Oh my God, I don't think I could talk. Like I totally like everything went out of my brain.
I just want to tell whoever does if they do an X-Men saga or whatever, just don't touch the Phoenix. You cannot make the Phoenix your third or second movie. That is like season 7 of your show. Like, ugh. I just have so many opinions.
No. I would like them to do more good things with the X-Men though.
Yeah.
Oh, please. I do not know how to feel about the fact they're bringing back the 97 show. They're bringing back the animated series, the like OG classic animated series. But the decisions that they're making,
oh boy,
they keep giving Storm the mohawk, and unless you're making Storm punk, there's no reason for her to have the mohawk.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't, because she has her regular white outfit, but with the mohawk, and it doesn't fit. It just doesn't. Like Storm, and if she's not going to be kissing Yukio and like fool on with her Asian girlfriend, that like is not confirmed. But like Storm, we all know.
Yeah, we stand a bi queen.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't she end up marrying?
A bi person can marry a man.
No, I know, but I'm wondering if
She marries Black Panther.
She ends up marrying T'Challa, right?
But
Or am I wrong?
they've been divorced for like almost 10 years.
Because I remember reading the one where they ended up getting married. So
and like honestly, I don't want her to be married to Black Panther in the movies because that takes away her character and makes her his like character kind of. And like Storm doesn't need that.
She can stand on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see them do more with Shang-Chi.
Yes.
That was really well done.
That was such a good movie.
I want to see more with Shang-Chi's sister.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
It was good. It was one of the new characters that I actually thought they did well with. I was like, see, this is what I need. When they're trying to bring in new characters, they can't just assume that we'll keep giving them money. Give me something to care about.
Yeah.
And that actor in general is fantastic. Like I've seen him in other things and he's
Yeah, I stopped watching MCU films after Endgame because I was so angry. And I have not seen any of the films since.
What was it about besides was it just the queer thing or?
The queer thing like really made me angry. The way that they handled time travel was bullshit. Like everything they did with the time travel, the time heist was fucking bullshit. The way that they ended it, with Steve just abandoning everyone and going off to be with Peggy was bullshit. They completely retconned Peggy's entire storyline for what? Yeah, no. No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah, no, I have blocked out what they have done with some of those things. You said those and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was angry about that.
I'm still never going to forget how dirty they did Gamora in the MCU. Because you have her labeled the most dangerous woman in the galaxy, and she ain't do shit. And then they fridge her. I love Nebula. Nebula is one of my favorite characters in the MCU.
Yeah.
I love Nebula and
the business that they did with her alternate universe self or whatever, so they still have Gamora. Yeah. And it's like okay, all of that character development is just gone.
I will say, if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and they do some pretty good work with that. Where they
I've only seen 1 and 2. I haven't watched the third one.
3 was really good. 3 was really good because they finally took the camera off of it's not Star-Lord's movie. It's Rockets. And I really enjoyed it.
My friend warned me about it though because of like how much animal cruelty's in the first little bit.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay.
But like I love Gamora and not Gamora, Nebula and Rocket's friendship. So I love that movie.
Yeah.
And like I liked Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but because it was so bad that it was fun to me.
Okay.
That's fair.
Like
Benedict Cumberbatch though. Like I love Benedict Cumberbatch.
But I mean he can only do so much.
I don't like him.
I'm very lukewarm on him. I don't love him. I don't hate him.
Well, I started watching him from Sherlock. Like I loved him at Sherlock.
See, and I hated that show.
I don't hate Sherlock, but as someone who was on Tumblr in that era, I have seen enough of super Sherlock Hulock. That turned me off from all those shows. My favorite favorite thing is whenever someone talks about any TV show things or whatever, and they're like, it like fandom wise, and they're like, it's never been like this before, and then I feel like you just hear Shulock in the background
Sherlock in the
laughing
background, like,
menacingly.
excuse me?
Yeah, you just hear menacing laughter in the distance. Tumblr, that era of 2010, Tumblr was a.
Look,
Were you around for Misha Day?
I don't think I don't know if I would.
the Mist Apocalypse.
The Misha Apocalypse. Thank you.
God, that shit.
That was an adventure.
I think no. My biggest adventure was being around for DashCon.
I don't think I was there for that.
Oh my God. Yes, DashCon. Everybody gets an extra hour in the ball pit.
Y'all remember Self-Cessed with the Lorax movie? The Onceler?
Oh my God.
My favorite thing though is because you got the Loki show or whatever, and you have Loki's possible relationship with a different variant of him, which to me is the most like Loki accurate thing. Like Loki would want to fuck himself. Sorry for like.
Oh yeah, Loki absolutely would.
If anyone would, it would be Loki.
But everybody's like, oh, it's like twin cess, it's self-cess. And like, you guys clearly worked on Tumblr back in the day.
Nope.
Because this is nothing.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, I don't want to hear it, people talking about twincest or incest or anything else, when they've been in Harry Potter fandom, reading and writing about Fred and George. So,
or Ginny and Ron.
Ginny
Just,
and Ron.
I can't. It's a hard no. That.
Yeah,
no.
Wincest. Thank you, Saf. Wincest as well. So,
there are some books with that in there, and it's a hard no for me.
Thor and Loki itself, like.
Yeah, right. But they're adopted. It doesn't matter.
You grew up. I can't.
The internet is a wild place.
That's why in some romance books, I can't do like the dad's best friend who's known me since I was 4, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's grooming.
It's gross.
But brother's best friend is fine.
Yeah, as long as it's the same age bracket. We're good.
Yeah, it's like
not someone who's like talking to an 18-year-old that's 44.
Yeah. No, but I forget. I think it was Kenny who put in the Discord, and they were talking about like, why is this a trope, or like, why is this considered what is the word, taboo?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I was like, I like it in fiction, but I would be so irritated in real life because I'm like, this is just a mess.
I don't judge people who read taboo. I just can't read certain things because
I mean, we all have our triggers. We all have our like.
Yeah. Everybody's got a line.
Like the one book where
it's not my kink, and that's okay.
She gets with her like stepbrother and then her uncle, and I'm like, why is? And this is traditionally published, and I'm like, why? Like,
I was reading this Kindle Unlimited shifter romance series, and each book had a different kink. And I got through the first 2 okay, but the third one had like the baby kink. In the baby,
I can't do the daddy kink. It freaks me out.
Like the daddy kink is okay. Like I don't have a problem with that one. But when you're starting to be like, I need a sippy cup.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go. My Uber's here, and I'm trying to keep my 5-star rating. So like,
if someone ever said that to me in real life, I would run.
Yeah.
I want to fight who is ever in my Kindle recommendations. Because like I will find a cover and like read it, and then I'm like halfway in, and they're like, "But he's my brother," and I'm like, "Okay, Kindle, we gotta fight." Why are you recommending this?
I can't. There's one book by Penelope Douglas, and everybody's like, read it. It's so hot. I'm like, she sleeps with her cousin, her brother, her uncle, and they all. And I'm like, no. And this was traditionally published. Why? Like,
yeah.
And that's but there's nothing brought up about how it's Christmas.
No.
Yeah, sass with you. Age play cannot.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It's that, and like I can't do. What's the other one? Like bully romances are just not.
Yeah, I don't like bully romance.
Mm-mm.
Romance that bothers me.
And I have a hard.
Yeah, because like I try to imagine if that's like how they would talk to me, and I'm like, you got me fucked up.
Right?
Like,
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to.
And
Yeah.
I'm also at the point
Yeah.
in my life that like I can't imagine a romance between teenagers. Like I'm too like, again, not judging anybody who likes it, but I personally can't read a book about two 17-year-olds still in high school with really.
Yeah.
The only like white anytime I read YA romance is like I'm reading queer brown boys to like my childhood, like heal my childhood drama.
It's just like as a soon to be 34-year-old adult, I'm just like, you say you're in love with this person and you've known him for 2 seconds.
Right.
Like, you know what? I'm just like, no.
I've gotten to the point when I'm like reading YA, it's no longer, oh, you know how people are like book boyfriend. I'm like, this is my book child.
Book nephew, book. Yeah.
Like I have to beef with the character in the Sunbear's Child because the mom, because how dare she? We gotta fight. I don't care if you're a god of fire.
God of throwing hands.
I got oven mitts on.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, hearing noises outside.
Mm-hmm.
Turn your box fan on. Then you won't
There we
hear
go.
them.
I wish
There we
that
go.
fire was real so we could go sit outside.
That would be great.
Go sit outside and have like a bonfire.
Right?
That would be excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For now, however, unfortunately, I have to get to a meeting in a short while. So,
Yeah. It's already
Yeah,
6 o'clock. I was
well.
like, Jen's got to go to bed.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
but thank you all for coming to hang out with us. It was
Yay.
a good time. And let's see. Paco, what do you have coming up?
So we have 2 videos coming out this week. We have my first in my 12 Witchy vlogs, which is the like spoilery review of Night of the Witch.
Mhm.
And then we have February TBR Battle of the Girl Bands readathon edition.
Jen?
Had a video drop today on your hot takes and pet peeves, in which I farm all my friends for content because that's what y'all are for.
Right.
And then I have sprints coming up on Saturday.
Excellent. Alicia?
Tomorrow, I have on my friend's channel, who I do the book club with, the Who Picked This Book Club. We're having we're doing less books this year. We're not forcing ourselves to read anything, so we're just having one meeting a month. We're going to talk about a specific book the next meeting, but like one meeting a month where we talk about whatever book we're reading and we just come and chat about it for like an hour. And then the 3rd, I have my interview with P.L. Stewart for book 2 in his Last of the Atlantean series. That's the 3rd. And then the next video from me will be my Missy Elliott readathon TBR.
Excellent. So there are good things coming up on all fronts. On the very off chance you are not subscribed to Alicia, Paco, and Jen, go ahead and fix that right now. But yeah, we will be back here next Tuesday. Saf wants us to think about that beginner-friendly book video idea. And yeah, that's all we've got for you tonight. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.